Grambling State University is not that kind of school. I wouldn't feel comfortable coming to a school that I wasn't safe at.
2 people injured during a double shooting on Grambling's campus. A suspect is now in custody.
And some students from Geneva Academy working to save the Swayze at Forsyth Park.
Week 7 of the high school football season has arrived. We'll break down some of the key matchups, including OCS and Oak Grove.
KNOE 8 News begins with breaking news.
And we do begin with breaking news. Darrell Berry has withdrawn from the State Representative District 16 runoff race.
That means Democrat Frederick Jones will represent the district in Baton Rouge. This has been confirmed by the Secretary of State. We'll have more details as soon as they become available.
If it's between the students, they handle it in like a discreet way. But people that don't go to Grambling, they really come down here and they be trying to give my school a bad reputation.
And we have new details on a double shooting at Grambling State University.
The suspect is a former Grambling State student.
That's right. State police are telling us that 19-year-old Princeton Adams of Shreveport has been arrested. He is accused of a double shooting during a party at Grambling State University. He is now charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder. And now GSU students are speaking out about the shooting.
Tyler Wan sat down with one and also spoke with authorities about this incident.
Shots fired at a party in Grambling's Assembly Center last night.
At some point during the night, there is an altercation between a couple people at the party. Firearm was pulled. A victim was shot.
A university police officer working security ran towards the shooter and was shot in the leg. His injuries aren't life-threatening, but the other victim is in critical condition. The suspect has been identified as 19-year-old Princeton Adams of Shreveport. State police say there's no motive yet and that it's an isolated incident.
It's a college campus. People drive through there. There's a lot of different people that drive through the University of Louisiana at Monroe and through Tech campus. So, like I said, this was an isolated incident. It just, unfortunately, stuff like this happens.
And students say there's no place for this kind of violence on Grambling's campus.
Some people coming from off campus came into our home and they had their way, leaving us with what was left to deal with. Grambling State University is not that kind of school. I wouldn't feel comfortable coming to a school that I wasn't safe at.
Students have called for tighter security to make sure that this doesn't happen again on their campus.
But most importantly, we just need to make sure that Grambling students are safe. If your intention to come on campus is not a pure one, you don't need to be coming on this campus.
In Grambling, Tyler Wan, KNOE 8 News.
And going in depth, earlier this year, a student was shot near the Mary McLeod Bethune dorm at GSU. The suspect was not a student, and the victim had non-life-threatening injuries. In 2018, there was a shooting near the basketball courts. The university said the suspect and victim were not students at GSU. Also in 2017, 2 men were shot and killed on the campus. The suspect turned himself in, but police say these incidents are isolated.
The family of the teen who died on life support from the West Monroe triple shooting will hold a vigil later today. Last week, family and West Monroe police say that Reginald Hill Jr. passed away after being on life support. 2 other victims, Marcellus Parker and Charlie Ross, survived their injuries. All were shot inside of a car near Montgomery and Coleman Avenues. Now, the candlelight vigil starts at 7:30 on Coleman Avenue in Montgomery by the 911 call center. They ask folks to wear orange and bring a candle. Now, police say charges for the suspects will upgrade. Meanwhile, each of them have been charged with attempted second-degree murder.
Well, across the state tonight, the sheriff's office in Ascension Parish is investigating a shooting after one deputy accidentally shot another deputy. Investigators say they were exchanging personal weapons when one accidentally shot the other in the shoulder. Both were off duty at the time. They say the injured deputy is okay.
Well, almost 600 cases of hepatitis A are now reported in Louisiana. That's according to the Louisiana Department of Health. The state has 595 cases, 5 which are not linked to the current outbreak. Ouachita and East Baton Rouge parishes both have between 61 and 120 cases. That's the second highest in the state. Livingston Parish has the highest with 121 to 240 cases.
Well, the planned demolition of 2 cranes in New Orleans has now been delayed due to strong winds. Officials say they'll try again tomorrow. The cranes are at the Hard Rock Hotel, where 3 people were killed during a collapse last weekend. Forecasters say a tropical storm could form today in the Gulf. It is expected to head east of New Orleans, but they fear winds could cause a collapse onto neighboring buildings.
Our enemy right now is the weather. We talked about the 3 real risks we face with each of those cranes and the wall that's unstabilized. Now we face weather.
And it's reported that the fire department will go door to door tomorrow to give out physical notices.
Louisiana's budget surplus has edged up to nearly $535 million. Now, previous estimates were pegged around $500 million. Financial analysts say that most of the unspent cash from the June 30th budget year comes from better than expected personal income and business tax collections, mainly tied to federal tax changes. About $134 million of the surplus is earmarked to the state's rainy day fund, while another $53 million must pay down retirement debt. Lawmakers will spend the remaining $348 million on one-time expenses in the 2020 legislative session.
All right, boy, a cool start out there today, but nice day.
That's right, Chief Meteorologist Marcus Walter has a look at our forecast. And Marcus, I tell you what, it was nice today. Will it be even the same this weekend?
You know, we are expecting beautiful conditions as we head into Saturday, although a few more clouds will be around. But if you are concerned with Friday night football, oh, it doesn't get any better than this. Temperatures for the kickoff at the Oak Grove versus the Ouachita Christian game that's taking place. We're talking about 63 degrees for the kickoff, and then halftime we'll have temperatures right around 60 degrees. And if you're planning to step outside for anything after the newscast, well, we are dealing with temperatures right now in the mid and upper 60s, so very comfortable out there. Plenty of clear sky out there as well. Clouds mainly off toward our east, and we are looking at Tropical Storm Nestor as it continues to push toward the Gulf Coast. Fortunately for us, it will not be impacting us. So as we take a look at the hour forecast, we'll be quiet throughout the rest of the night. I'll tell you more coming up in just a bit.
We all have to work together as a community, because if we don't work together as a community, we cease to become a community.
Well, the old Forsyth Pool has sat vacant for almost 20 years, but for the students and staff at Geneva Academy, they are looking to fix it up.
Yeah, today was their big annual Big Serve at Forsyth Park. Courtney Cole reports on the school's effort and plans for the future.
Push past problems, seek solutions.
Troy Lisenby and Geneva Academy are sweeping past the dirt and debris at the old Forsyth Pool for a new purpose.
We're looking at, things that we can do, multi-purpose, multifunctional, make this in Forsyth Park the activity hub again.
The Swayze Natatorium has been a ghost town for 20 years. Geneva has a 5-year cooperative agreement with the city of Monroe.
The city can't do everything. We shouldn't expect it to do everything. They do a pretty darn decent job of what they can, but there are limitations in budget, manpower, equipment.
But with their annual Big Serve event, the students get a chance to lend a helping hand.
How crazy it is on how many people can change an environment, because back there it was like a jungle and there's dirt, leaves, vines everywhere.
While they've been out here cleaning up, they found over 20-year-old cans of Coke and chip bags too.
It's 10 times better than it was before. I mean, there's still things that have to be done.
Next, they'll have to paint the trim, power wash, repair the roof, and then
we'll have quarterly meetings. We'll have a forum online. We're going to sit down and bring all the ideas together to make the most sense of the space.
And while this is just the beginning, they're looking forward to the outcome. At Forsyth Park, Courtney Cole, KNOE 8 News.
Well, there is no set date on when the revitalization project will be finished, but once the cleanup is all done, they'll have to work with the city's parks and recreation services.